about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. How was your weekend? I hope it was well. It was amazing. My weekend was mind-blowing. it was like 90 going north. And it went by just like that. I'm like, what the? But it was amazing. And Sunday meeting fellowship, It was amazing too. We began the discussion of, I haven't watched the whole video yet, the show yet, but about democracy and republic kind of a thing. And it was interesting. It reminded me of what we have lost in America. That's what it really did for me. It reminded me what we have lost in my country. How we've lost jobs and families and businesses, and we're like totally being manipulated and controlled by the people with the money and so-called power. And they are doing it because they want more money and they want more so-called power, perceived power. And they are destroying us. It's mind-blowing. I forgot when I was growing up, I became a teenager, I realized I forgot that things were booming in America. There were jobs and businesses, and people would go to Detroit and New York and all up Florida and different places, and they would work. Chicago, Indiana, and steel mill work and all kind of stuff. It was just booming. I forgot that it used to be that way. And I didn't understand the human nature either, in that human nature is always evil and that it is always trying to get something for itself. And that human nature doesn't love anyone. It's all about self. And that's what's happening in the big picture too. And they got the people fighting amongst themselves over dumb stuff. And while you're fighting over dumb stuff, they're taking away everything. Because you're fighting over dumb stuff. It's crazy. It's literally crazy now. I didn't see it before as I see it so clearly now. It crazy how we're fighting over dumb stuff. And while we're fighting, whomever the controllers of perceived power and money and wealth, they're sitting up there watching us fight over dumb stuff and taking control of us. And then we'll look back and we'll remember what we used to have in America. And we have some examples of that coming up for you. By the way, you can get involved by calling. There is a line open, 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. And if you're busy this morning, out and about, you can listen to the show live on your iPhone or iPad anywhere in the world by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. You can subscribe, like, ring the bell, all those good things. All those good things. So we dealt with last week, biblical question yesterday as well. Last week, biblical question, what are you ashamed of? No, why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Why are you ashamed of the anger and hatred in you? Lots of interesting responses to that. And amazing conversation with the anchor baby about it. And what I realized that there is nothing to be ashamed of. You can't be. You shouldn't be ashamed of anger and hatred in you because it implies there's a you. You think that is you. You really think that it is you. And not knowing or seeing for sure that it's a spirit of evil. It's the devil's nature, the abnormal nature, the evil nature that made a home in your mind, and then it brings on all kinds of emotions in the body. And some of those emotions are called shame and anger and hatred and all that, because that nature is angry. It is hateful, but it is not you. That's the whole deal. It's causing you to carry out things that you wouldn't do on your own, or think about things that you would never even imagine to think about. But you've taken it on as you. You really think it's you because thoughts and feelings come with it. And so if you knew for sure and were able to see for sure and never doubt it, just see it, that those thoughts and feelings were never you and are not you, you would never be ashamed. And you would never do things that you wish you didn't do if you could see clearly that it's not you. Amazing, huh? I have on my all thoughts are all lies all the time right now, designed by the Anchor Baby. What the? All thoughts are all lies all the time. It's amazing that when you do believe that you are ashamed, that you are angry, that you have hatred, you take on that identity. You take it on. You take on that identity. It's like someone asked me about Christianity and religion. It may have been after the meeting was over, but I'm not sure who was still taping. And he was asking, sure, was it a mistake to be taught religion? And I'm like, yeah, it was a mistake. It was wrong. Because if you notice, the Christians have just taken on the idea of religion and the idea of God. And so they are worshiping the idea. They are praying to an idea. And their prayers are never answered because they are praying to an idea. They had never been taught religion, though Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven, I still stand for that. But it's not that people are really living Christianity because they have no idea what it is. They don't know what it is, but they're trying to live the idea of Christ, the idea of Christianity, but they have no idea what it is, and it's not working. And they're so dumbed down with the idea, they say, I'm trying to be like Christ. And they imagine what Christ is like, and so now they're trying to live through even more imagination, ideas of what Christ is like. What would Christ do in this situation? Isn't that a dumb question? What would Christ do in this situation? It's like trying to be good, and you can never be good by trying or by learning about good. It's insane, but that's what human nature is all about. It's sanity. Insanity. So I say all that to say you got to overcome. You don't have to, but I recommend that you overcome ideas about this and ideas about that, ideas about who you are and who you're not, ideas. All these stuff got to disappear. And they should die daily. In order for you to live, these things must disappear. You don't know what love is or anything. Human beings do not have love. No love at all. So To be ashamed of anger and hatred in you implies that you think it is you. And that there is a you to be hateful or to feel ashamed. Amazing, huh? So most people are not going to ever get this. I can tell you now, it's not. Most people love their feeling like they are ashamed, feeling like they're angry or hateful, or they have love. They love their insanity. They're never going to overcome it. They don't want to, but a few will, and it's those few that the truth is looking for. And by the way, if you missed that conversation with the anchor baby, I think he did a little short on it. I'm not sure. But you can check out the church, rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Amazing.
It's amazing to me that it just now became, not just now, but I just realized again that how human beings are suffering unnecessarily and thinking that it's them that's suffering, and the suffering get worse. And what they have done to themselves, they do to others. They impose those ideas upon others. If you notice, parents don't have love, and because they don't have love, they impose their fallen states upon their children. And they call it discipline, or I was trying to love you. And they are doing to the children what they have done to themselves, their own children. It's crazy what's happening in my country today. But it's been going on forever. It's just so apparent today. So we have a brand new biblical question. Brand new. What are you committed to? It's a doozy. What are you committed to? Isn't that an amazing question? It's deep. What are you committed to? And again, these biblical questions are put there to encourage you to know yourself. If you really want to be free, and you can be in this crazy, messed up world, in this evil world that we live in, you could be sane. You don't have to be insane in an insane world. You can literally be free, but you got to know yourself. The kingdom of heaven is within. Know thyself. You are 100%, nobody else but you, as an adult. You are 100% responsible for yourself. You can't blame anyone. You can't blame anyone for anything that happened to you because you wanted it. You wanted it. And then because you're in a fallen state, you try to hurt others. We don't get what you want anymore. But you're doing it to yourself. You've already done it to yourself. That's why you're trying to hurt others. I was thinking about this whole so-called LGBTQ Pride MESS. And I was thinking about how they go out, they do their little parade thing, and then there are people going out yelling at them, thinking that they're better, not knowing it's two devils yelling at one another. But if you totally ignore them, the devil will go away, inside of you and outside of you. But because both sides are in a fallen state, they're fighting one another. And the interesting thing about that fight, while they're out there fighting one another, whomever is in control of this thing for perceived power, well, they have you fighting, have set it up so you fight. This is set up, folks. They're encouraging the LGBTQ thing, not because they believe it's right, but because they want you to fight. They know it's not right. They just want you to fight one another. They want to fight with the abortionists and the anti-abortionists. They want to fight with the race and the racism, the people who believe that there is no such thing as racism versus the one that believe it is. They want you to fight, so they're setting up these fights, and you're not seeing it, and you're just out there fighting. And then you're not getting any resolution except false feeling for the ego. Because you're not winning the battle at all. Zero win. You'll win the battle when you lay your weapon down. And the battle will be over. Somebody want to be an LGBT thing? Let them be it. Okay, bye. I wish you well. Somebody want to think that racism exists? Okay. Bye. I wish you well. Someone want to think that white supremacy exists? Don't fight with them. I wish you well, and then you just live your life. Don't try to prove to them that it does or it doesn't. You can't prove anything to the devil. And the reason you're trying to prove it because you don't see it's a spiritual thing. You still think it's physical. And that somehow or another God needs your help. He needs you to be out yelling at the children of the lie. Not seeing you. Things are being taken away from you. Jobs and opportunity and one nation under God and friendships and familyship. It's been taken away from you. And you don't even see it. Even businesses are getting involved with the LGBT. Who caused that to happen? Businesses are in businesses just to make money, and whatever their political ideology is, ooh, big word, they keep it to themselves. However they vote when they go behind the curtain, they keep that to themselves because they're in business and they don't care what your political stance is. They just want your money. And they want you to want their service. But now they're getting involved. Who started that and why? Somebody want those people to go out of business so they could build another empire. You got to see what's going on, folks. A lot of young people don't remember that at one time America was booming. It really was. And the working class people had buku money and beautiful homes and large families, nice automobiles, and they were just living their lives for the most part. And whatever your private life was, it was kept private. It was private. And nobody had to fight over because between you and God. And now they're taking your private life and putting it out there so you can fight. You can think you're better and fight while they're taking away more freedom from you because they want more perceived power. Well, what a mess. Why don't you wake up? Baby, it's time to come home. They had this so-called parade, LGBTQ parade in New York City, I guess over the weekend. And this is from Fox reported that it might have had it on Friday. Yeah, on Friday, this past weekend. LGBTQ activists at New York City annual so-called Pride chanted, "We're coming for your children." Watch this from Twitter.
so important to be here as we march in the Pride game. We want to say happy Pride, and the relationship goes so far back, and we just want to be out here to show our energy and say happy Pride. This is what it's all about.
There go Al Sharpton. Amazing. And that last end, in case you weren't watching it, it was just showing the choir parade, no voice to it. But who is encouraging that? And what's the purpose? What are they gaining from that? And what would happen if you totally ignored it? You didn't go out there and fight with them. Would they act that silly? Would they do things to get more attention? Would they act out in that way if you just totally ignored them? How are you helping by being out there fighting with them? There are other ways you can get involved. You can run for office and change the law. You can run for office and see who's behind all this madness and do something about that. You're not doing any good by going out there fighting with them. Not at all. Zero. They're encouraging you to think that you're right, and you're encouraging them to think that they're right, and both are wrong. And that's not helping anything. And whomever encouraging these folks to act that way, know that, and they know you're going to show up and act like them because you think you're better too. And they got a war going on, but behind the scene, somebody gaining something from it. And it ain't love. That's why those people riding on their truck and doing all that nasty movement, and ain't dancing, but nasty movements and gestures, because they want to incite something inside of you. And they know that you're going to overreact, and now two devils are fighting. Really think about it. And if you think I'm wrong, let me know. 888-7753-773. What's good coming from this? We need to think about who is behind this. Because whomever is behind it, they know it's wrong. They know it's never going to be right in doing it that way. But we never really look to see who is behind it. You just saw the dumb mayor of New York and Al Sharpton and supporting it. They were marching in the parade. Why? Don't be mad at them for doing it, but question, why are you marching in this? What's in it for you? We showed you where last week a video where in New York there was a black guy who allegedly killed another black guy for attacking he and his girlfriend on the train or something like that. I don't have the whole story in front of me, but and the black guy was asked, have you heard from Al Sharpton or that black lawyer, any of those guys? He's like, no, I haven't heard anything from them. There was no protest at the train track. There was no outburst from the DA or the governor or anyone about the black on black one. But when the white man got involved with the black guy, they pretended it was a big deal. Protesting, put the white guy in jail, all kind of stuff. Al Sharpton and other black preachers said when they did it to us, they did it to all of us. No, they didn't. It just happened with those two people alone. Nobody else. Whomever was involved in that. When will you wake up? When will you come out of your fallen state? When will you be free? When will you stop fighting with the devil inside of you and outside of you, inside of others? The devil is a coward. The devil is a loser. The devil has been defeated. The devil's been defeated. It is done. Why don't you say, get to the point in your life, go all the way to the cross and be crucified so you know it is done. It's over. The fight is truly over, folks. The fight is truly over. I was looking at a little portion of CBS little thing that they do on Sundays, and they were talking about the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine and Russia, and they are bringing, and they were showing these children and women who have been hurt as a result of being in the war. And they were showing how they escaped into one country and some made it here to this country. And what I noticed is that all of the so-called doctors, from what I saw, if there were other men doctors, I didn't see it because I came in a little late on the program and I didn't watch the whole thing. But they were interviewing female doctors and mothers and children, and not a man in sight. When they had so-called experts, it was females. And then they were saying, well, how do you feel that Russia is killing all of your people in Ukraine, right? Innocent people being killed. And they were, and again, I don't know what the real deal is with this war with Ukraine and Russia, because there's no way we're going to ever know the truth. But I was thinking while watching that, let's say Russia is wrong. If the so-called president of Ukraine cared about the people, he would just end the war. He would meet with Putin, and they both will work out a deal if they cared about the innocent people that are being wounded and killed in this war. Because whatever the war is about, it's about ego. It's not about love, and it's not about anything that's real. And they'll kill innocent people to get their egos fulfilled. And then you take side with Russia or Ukraine or Russia, and you don't really know what's going on. My deal is they need to stop spending our money over there. But it was interesting to see how they were promoting the woman in a like secret way if you weren't paying attention. I got to take a break. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats, 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Human beings are evil. The human nature is wicked. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. check out Hassan's shirt. It's amazing. I like that shirt, man.
Amazing. The best shirt in the business.
The amazing Tar Baby. Nice
Amazing.
shirt.
Thank you for this. This is a rare gem that is exclusive.
Amazing. And then all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. What the?
From the Anchor Baby.
The Anchor Baby designed this.
Amazing.
Very talented. You can get it all at rebuildingtheman.com/stores, by the way. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Amazing, huh? The Hake report is coming up. The Hake report at 9 a.m. this morning. And James Hake is on fire. James Hake is on fire from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Did you catch the Anchor Baby show this past Friday? It went for 3 hours, I think. It was talking about flying high. It was deep. It went for 3 hours. The American Anchor Baby. If you didn't catch it, you can podcast it. And he's here Monday through Thursday at 12 Pacific time and on Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The American Anchor Baby show. Amazing, huh? And don't forget, Super Chatters, you can donate and have your comments read out loud on JesseLeePeterson.com/live. JesseLeePeterson.com/live. And buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee. JesseLeePeterson.live. I didn't say that name. I mean, Hake. Oh, .live. I'm sorry. JesseLeePeterson.live and buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And you can help us out by going to cash.app/bondjlp. Cash.app/bondjlp. What a mess. You can live in your mess or you can be free of your mess. And you have no one to blame but you as an adult. As an adult, you're responsible for your own mess. Aaron is a first-time call out of Tampa, Florida. Aaron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, that's a pleasure, actually, and thank you. I just started coming across your stuff recently and listening, and no one's going to agree 100%. Either way, I just like what you say, or just how you think and how the Lord's using you and stuff. But with this racism thing and like the woman thing and stuff, like I'm just curious, like my life was like just crazy, like 16. Mom had me when she was 16, dad like 17, and just like I didn't even realize like my grandfather was an old school Democrat, and I didn't know. I thought he was Republican because he was always walking around like NIG this and that in the middle of Dollar General. I don't care where you were. Straight, like I just like thought it was racist, like totally, bad. And then my father, that bled on to him and trying to raise me like literally like black people are less than human, like kind of Mexicans a little better, and just like sick stuff. You know what I mean? And like, how do you say there's no racism? Where are you coming with that? And I stopped.
There is not one iota proof that there is racism. There's no proof of it at all. Do you have proof that you believe racism exists?
I just think it's evil, like whatever, like a spirit of evil, like whether racism or not, I just see it evil,
Do you have any proof that racism exists?
No, sir, I do not.
So why do you believe that it does?
Well, I mean, I like. Would you classify hatred different than racism? I'm not trying to change the subject.
Right. Hatred
You know what I mean? Like,
hatred is hatred. It's a spiritual issue. It's not a physical issue.
and I agree with that 100%.
And so they imply anyone that think that racism exists, they believe it's physical, but it's not.
Ah, okay.
It's a spiritual. And if your grandfather and your father did that, it was hatred. It was evil. They have hatred in their heart, and it didn't start with the blacks. It started with their mothers, and because they didn't overcome it at the time. I don't know what the situation is now, but they started to believe lies, and they thought that the blacks were their issue when it was really started in the home with their mothers.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not far off with that. But, it's mainly they're like Pentecostal, and I'm not against Pentecostal, whatever you want to do. I just believe in relationship with Jesus Christ. But, like some pastors or some theologians talk about how Pentecostal movement was started by the Aryan nation. Are you familiar with anything like that?
Well, I know that the haters are calling Christianity a white religion, but I don't know if I've heard that Pentecostal was started by the Aryan nation. Are you a Christian, Aaron?
100%. I believe the Lord Jesus Christ died for my sins, and He's the only way I can get there.
And how does that make you a Christian?
Well, I mean, I can't answer that. I mean, I don't, I just, according to the Word of God, I have faith and believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And, I mean, I'm a child of God. I mean, I'm like Christian or not is really irrelevant. Catholic, whatever is irrelevant.
How
in my
old
book.
are you?
41.
Oh, you're 41?
Yes, sir.
You sound so young.
I act even younger.
and why?
Why do I act so young?
Yes.
I don't want to grow up responsibility. Like I'm just now getting a house. And the only reason I have a house is due to the grace of God. My wife's a nurse. I got injured in my wife.
You have a wife?
I do.
And so does she know you act like a child?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And how does she feel about that?
How do you feel that I act like childish all the time, Karen? Horrified? Yeah. She's coping with it. How do you feel? Sometimes she laughs, sometimes she gets mad.
How would you ever does she obey you?
Oh yeah.
How would you ever lead her if you act like a child?
Ooh, ouch. This man's hitting me hard, babe. Yeah, that's a good question.
And what's the answer?
Yes, sir. My answer is, it's obvious, really. I'm angry, sir. I am so angry.
I know.
And, I think it's a spiritual anger.
It is.
And, not a spiritual attack. Not like I'm all holy and angry, but I'm just really angry. And
do you want to be free of anger?
100%.
And do you want to be a real Christian?
Yes, sir.
You got to deal with your mother.
Yeah, which had passed away. She had liver failure, kidney failure, and instead of getting a new liver, she'd rather run the streets and do drugs, and, so.
Good for her.
I believe she's in heaven,
Why you believe that?
I prayed for God. I believe God answers prayers. I asked her to bring her home, and
you
brought her home on her.
You think that you prayed for her to go to heaven and she went?
No. I just according to what she said. No one knows anyone's heart. I believe it. That doesn't mean she's there.
You prayed for your mother to go to heaven?
Well, I had that conversation with my mom. I sat down and read the Word of God with her, and I grew up with her in church. I don't know. Do you believe you can lose your salvation?
So listen, You
Yes.
had a conversation with your mother before she expired about going to heaven.
Yes, sir.
And what was the conversation, if you can say?
Yeah, of course. Just if she believes in the Son of God, Jesus Christ is the, Son of God, yet God, and died for her sins, and He's the only way to heaven.
But how
Really, I mean, that's-
how are you thinking that that's going to work when you're still in hell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you say you a Christian, accepted Jesus Christ, died for you and all that, and yet you're in hell. How are you going to pray your mama to heaven?
Well, that's up to the Holy Spirit. I wasn't praying my mom into heaven for sure.
Do you know that you're still in hell?
Do I know that I'm in hell?
Yeah.
I mean, you mean like as if I was to die right now, I'd go to hell?
No, do you know you're living in hell right now with your eyes open?
Oh, 100%, yes.
And so how do you want to come out of your hell?
Well, I mean, as in right now, Satan is in control of this earth, and this is like hell on earth, I guess, until heaven comes
Satan
down.
is in control of you.
Yeah. Well, was it you or recently I heard Satan's a genius. He's the most wise thing. He can play you in your hands all day.
Do you have children?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank God for that, huh?
I guess. Hey, man,
But
it
listen,
was interesting talking to you, dude.
Aaron.
Thank God for you. Keep doing what you do and try your best, brother.
Aaron, real fast. Aaron. Oh, he gone. I'm going to tell him how to come out of his hell. Because he saw, Aaron, forgive your mama, though she's dead, and forgive your father, man, for not protecting you from your mama. Because if not, your wife is going to destroy you. You sound like a nice guy. If you want that, that's up to you. He ran. I don't know if he ran, but he's gone. And do the silent prayer, buddy. www.silentprayer.video. What a mess. Mike is a first. I didn't hang up on air. I don't know if it dropped or what happened. Mike is a first-time caller out of Maryland. Mike, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Amazing. Love your show, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. You said what's behind all of this? Your comment earlier, and it's the devil. It's the evil forces in this country right now that have really taken over this country.
I said,
especially with the LGBTQ.
Oh, you mean like who have the people fight amongst each other?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The devil's really good at that. He's been doing this a long, long time. And what better way to pervert God's creation than through them?
Have you stopped fighting with the devil?
Yes.
So you
I don't fight with him. I give into what the Holy Spirit is saying to my heart, and I follow Jesus.
So you're a Christian?
Yes, sir.
And you follow Jesus?
Yes, I am.
And how do you know you follow him?
Because I read Scripture, and I pray, and I listen to His Word upon my heart each day. And I walk in the Spirit so that I don't gratify the desires of the flesh.
Amazing. And so you have overcome your anger?
Yes, I have.
You have no anger?
Don't lie. No anger.
You never get angry?
I'm at peace with God. I'm at peace with Jesus in my heart. He gives me that peace because He's the peace giver.
Come back to your phone. Mike, come back to your phone.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so you never get angry?
No. I may get upset at times, but in those moments when I get upset, I pray. I ask for Him to calm me down, to help me to see the things I'm not seeing right now.
And so do you ever get angry?
I guess to define angry, just getting upset about a certain situation and acting on it, or just an emotion.
Do you ever get angry?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do get angry sometimes, but I don't act on them.
And how is it possible to get angry and follow Jesus, as you said?
Because there is a righteousness about it, to be upset about the things that God hates.
So when you get angry, you feel righteous?
I do.
And describe the righteous feeling?
Well, the righteous feeling is a type of discernment. Be upset about the things you know are wrong that God has put upon your heart, certain things you hear.
And what good
Like
does it do you when you get upset about those things?
It motivates me.
To do
it
what?
Keeps me from being to act on it.
It motivates you
Like,
to
for
act
instance,
on it?
Yeah, to act on certain situations. Like I'm upset about a certain topic being talked about this about transgender people, you know, and the kids and all that. It just you know, it gets me to talk basically about it, against it.
And if you didn't get upset about it, you wouldn't be able to talk about it?
No, I'll talk about it when it's warranted in a certain conversation. It wouldn't be something I would bring up unless it's something that, you know, unless it's talked about, I guess.
Do you believe that God has an angry spirit?
He has, he's vengeful. He's a jealous God.
Do you believe that God has an angry spirit?
No, I don't believe his spirit is angry.
So if
God
you
is
are
angry.
of God, how is it possible for you to have an angry spirit?
For me to have an angry spirit?
Yeah. If God doesn't have one, and you said you're following Jesus, let me ask,
Right.
do you believe that the devil has an angry spirit?
Yes, I believe the devil has an angry spirit.
So how can you serve God and the devil?
Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense.
No, that was a question.
What's that?
That was a question. How can you serve God and the devil?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a bit.
How can you serve God, and the devil?
You can't.
So how are you doing it then?
Well, I guess it depends on if I'm angry about something, and I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding the definition of angry. Maybe upset about something. but not
Upset
angry.
is anger.
Is it?
Yeah. And God is not a vengeful God. I don't know who told you that.
Well, not like vengeful.
God
but,
is love, pure,
Yeah.
unemotional light. And how can the light be of anger?
You can't.
And so why do you think that your anger is of God and don't see it as of the devil?
Well, I think you're right. I think maybe I have my emotions or my anger misrepresented, I guess. Maybe I need to really focus on what God's telling me instead of...
Do you want to
feeling
overcome the devil?
Absolutely.
You got to forgive your mother. Your mother has created you in her image, and your father was too weak to protect you from her because he is afraid of her.
Interesting.
He's
What's the other thing
married.
about
He's married to his mama.
Okay.
So if you really want to, quote unquote, follow Jesus, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive your mother for what she's done to you, and your father for not protecting you. They done the best they could. They just didn't have love.
Right.
You got to
Amen to
face.
that.
You got to face your mama.
Yes, sir. And how do I go about doing that?
You go to her, Mama, I'm sorry for resenting you, for recreating me in your image. And I'm throwing out things. You see what she did to you. Imposing your will on me, making me think a certain way, and turning me against my father. Because when she turned you away from your earthly father, she turned you away from God. And now you think you are of God, but you're of your father, the devil. Just like your mama.
Interesting.
And that's why you think...
Well, I just have to pray about that and see how I would approach my mother.
How about just go right to her?
Sure.
What do you...
Hey, Mom,
What?
I forgive you for what you did. You know, I mean, like, I'm
So what now?
like, like, how do I do this conversation with my mom? It's like, how do I start it?
Just like, hey, Mom, I realize I resent you because you're so evil. I'm sorry for it. I realize you couldn't help yourself. Because what she did to you,
I'll
her
give it a
mother did it to her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, aren't we in a fallen state as it is, regardless?
Yes, you are, but you can overcome the fallen state. That's what Christ came for. that we may
Right.
overcome the fallen state, but you haven't overcome it because you haven't faced your mother. Before you enter
Okay.
in the kingdom, you must forgive.
Right. Okay. I'll definitely pray about that and see how I can maybe approach my mom and.
What's wrong with? Do you see you have anger toward her?
No, I don't.
You don't resent her at all?
No.
She
No,
didn't do
not
anything
at all.
wrong?
Did I do anything wrong to her?
Did she do anything wrong to you?
Not that I can think of.
So
I have
she-
nothing but love for her, honestly.
She was perfect?
But what's that?
She was perfect?
No, she wasn't perfect by no means.
What one thing she did?
I don't fault her
What
for
one
it.
thing she did that you wish she had not done or stopped doing now?
Going to church. I wish she would go back to church again.
And what one thing she did to you while growing up you wish she had not done? That would irritate you at times.
I don't know. I've honestly forgiven my mother in my heart so much where I don't.
Did God tell you to forgive her in your heart or go and forgive?
Well, I think maybe both. If there's something that I'm holding in my heart that I would need to speak to her about.
But why
so
you
I can-
haven't gone
Well,
and forgiven her? Why you took the cowardly way out?
What's that?
Why haven't you gone to her instead of taking the cowardly way out? Oh, I forgive you in my heart. Why are you afraid to
I mean,
face? Why are you afraid to face her?
Well, I mean, it's not that I'm afraid to face her. I just, in my heart, there's no conflict between me and my mother.
Hold on, Mike, if you can. Hold on. I got to take a break. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
The Wagner mercenary or Wagner mercenaries. Did they try to insurrect against Russian President Vladimir Putin or the military leadership? And the Supreme Court, even Justice Thomas, ruled in favor of sleepy Joe Biden administration's invasion rules, prioritizing whom to let stay versus deport. And another train derailment, this time in Montana. Train cars fell into the Yellowstone River. Whew. And a storm's a-blowing through. What a mess. In India, Asia, and the southeastern U.S. and Ohio Valley. This is the end of Hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. June 26th, 2023 A.D. Stay tuned for Hour 2. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. A robot's looking for the Titan debris. Call me Nonsense Network. CNN reports a robot is combing the ocean floor for debris from the Titan submersible as authorities continue to investigate what caused that vessel to implode on its expedition to the Titanic, immediately killing, experts say, the 5 people aboard. Rest in peace, people. We assume that you are indeed dead. Russian civil war? Possible? Russia may have avoided an insurrection over the weekend, according to Call Me Nonsense Network CNN, but there are still a lot of questions about what transpired. It is unclear what will happen to Wagner group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, who led the insurrection or wannabe insurrection against Russian military leadership. It's also too soon to know how the uprising might affect the war in Ukraine, where there will be likely other implications as well. One key takeaway per CNN, if you believe them, Russian President Vladimir Putin looks weak as a result. Like America, maybe? It feels like the beginning of the end for him, writes CNN's Nick Patton-Walsh. Meanwhile, Ukraine claims that they have made inroads against Russian forces around Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. But their counteroffensive that has been hyped for weeks, I heard that it hasn't gone so well, at least at the beginning stages. We shall see what happens, whatever. Invasion, meanwhile, in America, am I right? Coming on Sense Network, CNN reports the so-called Supreme Court revived Sleepy Joe Biden administration immigration guidelines. Or is this Obama Part 2? That prioritize which non-citizens, aliens, right? Invaders, to detain and which to deport. Friday's 8-1 ruling. 8-1. Based Samuel Alito is the only one to dissent. Even Justice Clarence Thomas sided with the liberals and the rhinos. Dismisses a challenge from Republican state attorneys general in Texas and Louisiana who had argued on the policies conflicted with immigration law. This ruling also tightens the rules around when states can challenge the federal policies with which they disagree. This is the second decision in a week to do so. Evil. But I do still like Justice Clarence Thomas and basically trust him. The ruling is a major victory for so-called President Sleepy Joe Biden and the black on the inside White House, who have consistently argued the need to prioritize whom they detain and deport, given limited resources. Overwhelming the system on purpose, seems like to me. With the so-called Supreme Court beginning its final week, all eyes will be on the high court, high on pot, as justices will release cases on issues such as affirmative action, student loan payments, election law, and so-called LGBTQ rights. No such thing. Same rights for all of us. Anyway, right? Supposed to be. Another train derailment, this time in Montana. Cleanup has begun after a train derailment over the weekend in Montana caused a bridge across the Yellowstone River to collapse, sent several train cars into the water below. No injuries reported. Some of the train cars were carrying molten sulfur and asphalt. Whoa. While 2 cars carrying sodium hydrogen sulfate did not land in the water, according to Montana Rail Link. The company said that they're continuing to test public drinking water and will monitor the impact on the nearby area. Extreme weather. Several cities in northern India experiencing heavy rain after a sweltering heat wave. And in the U.S., Southeast and Ohio Valley, tornado storms. I'm James Hake.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. Good morning. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. Brand new biblical question. And if you were not at the fellowship yesterday or watching it live, you can podcast. Believe me, you do want to podcast. It was amazing. By going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Okay? But brand new biblical question. What are you committed to? That's a doozy question. What are you, not somebody else, but you, committed to? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JustineLeePeterson.com/show. And if you are busy this morning, out and about, or this evening, or this night, or this early in the morning, wherever you are in this world, because we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama, you can listen if you're working out, no matter what you're doing. You can listen to the show at 641 on your iPhone or iPad, 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And then don't forget to follow us, subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell. You can ring my bell. Or we're on JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Amazing stuff. I want to go quickly back to Matt, a first-time call out of Maryland. Mike. And Mike is talking about forgiving his mother. Mike, you say you forgave your mother in your heart, right?
Yes.
What did you forgive her for in your heart?
Well, there was a conflict between me and my mother a long time ago. I was married a long time ago, and I had a conflict between her and my wife. She didn't like my wife, and I was upset with her. But since then, me and my wife have got a divorce, unfortunately, after counseling and everything. And I was upset with her even after the divorce, but I spoke to her about it, and I was able to resolve that misunderstanding between me and my mom about my wife. So I went to her, and within me, there's no conflict against my mom, so I don't hold anything against her. You know what I mean?
I will highly do what you want, Mike, but I highly recommend you go to her. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you, for destroying my marriage, for imposing on my life, and because until you truly apologize for resenting her for doing that, God cannot forgive you and draw you into the kingdom. But you got to, because forgiveness is seeing injustice but not hating it. But when your mother did injustice to you and your wife, you resented her for it. And when you resented her for it, that cut you off from God. Because anyone that has anger, period, is of their father, the devil. And so, but when you go and apologize for judging her, resenting her, playing God, God will forgive you. Don't ask her for forgiveness because your mother is evil and she's never going to forgive. But you forgive her, and God will forgive you.
I do remember my pastor saying a long time ago about anything scriptural that people proclaim that is of God, that to look for it in the Bible. Do you have a specific scripture on having anger in your heart that would cut you off from God, specifically in the Bible?
Before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive. Go and forgive, and I will forgive you, and you can enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Where in the Bible is that?
I don't know. It's in there somewhere, but if you don't want it, don't take it. You can stay
No,
in your
I do.
hell.
I mean,
if you can't see that you need to forgive your mother without even having to read it in the Bible, then you just need to suffer until you're ready.
Well, no, that's just it. It's important to anything anybody says, my pastors, the President of the United States, to bring it up to the Word of God specifically and measure it up to what, like bring every word captive. Every thought captive in your mind and make it obedient to Christ, Jesus.
How you do all that?
Well, by praying, by reading the Bible, and only by the Word of God and the Word of God alone should we do and say anything.
This is a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Well, I mean, do you believe that the Word of God is 100%? I mean,
Mike, where is the Word of God?
Word of God is written, and it's also spoken, the Logos, and the Rhema, the spoken word, and the Logos, the written word of God.
Mike, where is the Word of God?
The word of God is written on our hearts as well.
So why don't you live by that?
Well, I do, and
You
also
don't
the
see
written word
you
too.
don't see that you need to go and forgive your mother?
Well, I mean, I have. That's the thing.
You have
That's what I
not
was trying to
gone
tell you.
and apologized to your mother for resenting her.
I did. Yeah, we had it was about 6 hours, me and my mom at her house. This was about 5 years ago.
It doesn't take that long,
This
buddy.
is after my divorce. Yeah, we spoke for a long time. She said things that I didn't know. She felt about the marriage, things that she didn't, things that she saw.
Your
that I
mother was
didn't
jealous
see.
of your wife.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. But
She
all
wanted
I
to
know
be
is
your
that me
wife.
and my mom.
Your mother wanted to be your wife.
What?
Yeah.
My mom wanted to be my wife?
That's why she destroyed your
Yeah.
marriage.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard that said before. Like my wife, like intimately?
why would a mother get involved and destroy your marriage if she didn't want to be your wife?
Well, she didn't destroy it.
Yes, she
I
did.
had the ultimate decision to whether to be to. I mean, it was me and my wife separated for completely different reasons. It wasn't my mom, but you
Well,
asked me if I
your
was
wife,
something I had
your wife
against my
hated
mom.
you because you were weak. You couldn't deal with your mother, and as a result,
No.
you couldn't deal with her.
No, the whole thing with me and my wife was completely different dynamic.
Of course,
It wasn't psychological; it was physical.
she
We
beat you.
both were. No, me and my wife were both on drugs together.
Nice.
It was really bad. It
Nice.
got toxic, and I had to go get help down in South Florida. We got a divorce, but
You
we
have
were
kids,
sober
Mike?
when we got married. And what's that?
You have kids?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Let me ask.
Yeah.
Did you say you wish your mother would go to church more?
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of up to her sometimes. I mean,
But you
I
did
pray
say
for her
that
a lot.
before the break. You say you wish she would go
Yeah,
to church.
I pray about it between me and God.
And
I mean,
why do you pray that your
that's
mother go to church?
Because I wish that she would not be stuck on watching CNN all day long, and that she needs to.
And why do you
get away
wish
from
that?
Because CNN is a very toxic news outlet.
But
and
why do you
they
wish
have
your
one
mother
narrative.
would stop looking?
Why she would? Because it pollutes the heart. That news in general is just very toxic.
And so if your
And I
mother
just-
doesn't care about her own heart, why are you wishing that for her?
Because I see that how false narratives and lies in the media can cloud the minds and hearts of so many people, and I see it affecting my mother, and it's a spiritual warfare as well, and I'm seeing it affecting her, but some people can't see it when they're in it, so that's why I do the best I can to get her to try to stop watching it, but if it's going to cause an issue, I pray about it, you know?
And when you tell your father to make her stop, what does he say?
Well, my father passed away
Oh.
about 10 years ago, yeah.
Do you have to talk? You talk to your mother every day?
About once a week, yeah.
And why?
Just touch base with her, see how she's doing, making sure her spirits are good.
And why?
Because I love her.
If you love her, you would forgive her.
I have.
If you love her, you would let her go.
I have. I just, call her at least once a week to say hi to her because my mom's, by herself, so living with my brother in Florida.
She live with your brother?
Yeah.
Oh,
she
man.
lives with my brother.
I feel sorry for your brother. Poor brother.
What's that?
I feel sorry for your poor brother.
Right? Yeah, that's a totally different dynamic, too. And it's all spiritual, man. Everything is spiritual warfare.
One last
in the
question.
mind.
What is it like knowing that? How long have you been a Christian?
A long time.
What
But it's
is
been
it
up and
like
down.
knowing that God is not answering your prayers?
I believe God is working on my prayers, but He's waiting
working on
me to get out of the way. He's waiting on me to get out of the way.
So what is it
Yeah.
like knowing that God is not answering your prayers all this time?
I'm okay with it because I know God is good.
So you
God is
okay
love.
with God not answering your prayer?
Yeah, because it's not about what I want.
So if
It's
you're
His
okay
will.
with God not answering your prayers, why do you pray to God?
Because I know that what God has in store for me is good.
And how do
And
you
if my
know that?
situation
If He's not
is-
answering your prayers, how do you know that?
Because He gives that peace in my heart.
But you don't have
He gives me
peace.
that reassurance.
You don't have peace.
I do.
No, you have
I mean-
fear, you have anxiety, you have loneliness, you have sadness. You don't have peace.
I have peace supernaturally.
You don't
on
have
my
peace.
own. Apart from God, I do not have peace.
I know
Apart
you don't
from God,
have any peace at
Yeah.
all. So why don't you question? I've been a Christian for a long time. I've been praying to God. He's not answering my prayers. I have no peace. Why don't you question? Maybe I'm doing what's wrong with me? I'm doing something wrong here. Why don't you question that?
I do, and being
And
it's
what
not
kind of
about
answer do
what
you come
I
up
want.
with?
It's not my will, but His will.
So why do you
If
keep
I pray
praying
about something
then?
and I don't get it? Because maybe I'm not praying about the right thing.
And so why don't you
You know?
shut up and stop praying then, since you don't know what to pray for?
That's true. I mean, I pray for my mom.
No, that
I
was
pray
a question.
for. What's that?
Why don't you stop praying since you don't know what to pray for?
Because the Spirit intercedes for me, and
Mike,
if I don't know
Mike.
what to pray for, the Spirit prays for me.
But you're not letting the Spirit pray for you. You're praying.
Yeah, my heart is praying, and then God speaks to me, and
God's not speaking to you. We just both agree He's not answering your prayers. He's never answered your prayers, so He's not speaking to you. And
Well, that's the thing. You keep saying my prayers. It's not about me. It's what God wants. in my
God
life,
wants you to
His
pray
plan
to
for
Him.
my life.
God wants you to pray for your mama to Him.
Yeah.
And
I
why?
mean, there's things that
Why
I
He's not
naturally
answering your
want.
problem? Why isn't He answering your question to you about your mama then? He's not even answering that.
Because I'm being patient with what God is doing. It's not about what I want and what my desires are. My desires and my wants are irrelevant because God.
So
It's
why
God.
do you keep praying
God-
for your irrelevant desires then?
Because God hasn't given me that revelation within me to either stop praying for it or to have that prayer that is that conflict in my heart to be resolved.
Did He answer
If it's
your?
not
He
resolved,
has
then
not answered your prayer. That's not enough revelation for you.
No, I am patient because I understand that His ways are higher than my ways.
And what are His ways?
thoughts are higher than my thoughts.
What are His ways?
They're unmeasurable, to be honest with you.
What
His
are
ways
His
are higher
ways?
than mine.
What are His ways?
His ways are good. His
How do you
ways,
know
He
that?
wants good.
How do you know that?
How do I know it?
Yeah.
How do I know that His ways are good?
Yes.
It's a good question because there's a supernatural type of love that God gives. That
How
I
do you
can't
know
produce.
that His ways are good?
How do I know His ways are good?
Yes.
I guess through experience with God.
But you haven't had that. How do you know His ways
I've
are
had-
good?
Because I've gone on my own and searched God out on my own.
You
And I
haven't
try to
found
do
Him
things
yet. How
on
do
my
you
own.
know? You haven't found Him. How do you know His ways are good? You're not telling me.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. That's kind of like how do I know God is good? It's because
No, you said His ways are good. How do you know His ways are good?
Because the Bible tells me so.
And what are His ways
Bible
that are
says-
good?
What are His ways?
Yes.
He gives me peace.
But you have no
He
peace.
gives me.
You have no peace, so that's not good.
I have-
What else?
I have peace in God.
You don't have
in the
peace
Spirit
in
I
God.
do.
You have no peace, so stop lying to yourself so you can have peace.
Well, I mean, He gives me peace when I pray for it.
But you don't have peace. You've been praying for it for 100 years and you still don't have it.
Well, I mean, it is up and down battle. Trust me.
So
because
you don't have
when
it
I
because
stop
peace
relying
is
on
not-
what I want.
Peace is not up and down. Either you have it or you don't have it. It never
That's the
departs
thing.
from
That's
you
the
when you do
battle
have
we
it.
all have. We have a battle of the flesh and of the spirit.
But you
The
have no
spirit
peace,
is
Mike.
that conflict.
Mike.
I do have spirit in God.
Mike,
When I
Mike,
pray,
you
when I'm
have
in
no
the spirit,
peace.
I have peace.
No, you don't.
Do you have peace?
I do.
Do you have peace?
I do.
How do you know that you have peace?
Because I have no conflict.
Well, okay. So you have no conflict at all.
Zero.
Zero.
And I used to
how
be
do
like you, so I do
Good.
understand. I clearly understand all this mess you're saying, but because I used to think it'd be that way too, so I clearly understand your mess. But what I want you to know, until you really let go, forgive your mother and your father for not. Your father still living, or you died? You say your father died, right?
Yes, sir.
Until you let go, you're gonna live in hell and call it heaven, and you're gonna be waiting on something that is already here, and you're not gonna see that it's already here. It's done until you're leaving your body, and it's gonna be too late. You can have peace right now, but you gotta enter into the kingdom of heaven within, and let all your little intellectual knowledge go, so wisdom will appear.
How do you do that?
Forgive your mother. Be still and know God. Do the silent prayer. Have you heard about that?
I'm not 100%.
Go to rebuildingaman.com/church. rebuildingaman.com/church. And do the silent. It's on there, right, James?
Oh, I see it. Silent prayer does it.
Yeah. Okay. And do your little hooping and hollering prayer and waste some time prayer, right? And then,
no, I honestly will give this a.
And then be still and know God. And you're gonna see God is with you. Everything you've been looking for, you already have it. And you will die from the nature, the mindset of the devil. Right now you believe in the devil, you don't believe in God.
Well, I will look that up and definitely give it an earnest look. Sure.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Bye now. I wish you well. 888-7753-773. Super chat. Super chat.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you?
Walking on water. How are you?
Amazing. All is well.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Super Chatters.
Good morning, y'all. I love boomers. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, nice shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice shirt you have too, man.
It's literally the best. I've been waiting for this shirt all my life.
All my life.
So for the
I've been beat by men.
For the podcast listeners, JLP is wearing a black "All Thoughts Are All Lies All the Time" T-shirt with a picture of himself on it, his face, designed by Nick, the American Anchor Baby. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. Hake is wearing "I Love Boomers," a Hake tee, thehakereport.com. And Hassan is wearing the Amazing Anchor Baby T-shirt.
Right.
Tar Baby.
Tar Baby. My bag.
The Amazing Tar Baby.
Designed by the Anchor Baby.
Yeah.
Amazing Tar Baby.
Really? Oh, he designed this too?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, huh?
He didn't design the Amazing Tar Baby.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I thought that was done by...
It was inspired by Lock Your Doors.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Work.
Amazing.
Lock Your Door made a meme, and he made that design.
Oh, okay. Lock your door.
And I tried to order that for myself and a buddy of mine, and they said, "We don't sell this anymore." And so I think it's being built by another website. So that's that. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores for that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited about it, because I tried too.
Right.
And it's been banned, so it's
Yep.
become a national treasure.
That's right.
It's a collector's item. Limited edition.
A limited edition. It
Exactly.
reminds me of White History Month shirts.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Those are even more rare.
Coming soon.
I hope so. So here's some super chats. Yeah?
Yes.
Mari Uvaldo on a Bond YouTube channel yesterday, church service. Just before church, she gave a super chat saying, "Good morning, Jesse and crew. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Amazing fellowship, Jesse, and bless y'all. Much love."
Thank you. I appreciate it. You too. Thank you.
Cold Burger Art says, Great weekend. Fellowship time. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Free like a bird with a sort of a bird emoji is a new member. Welcome welcome new Bond channel supporter. Appreciate that.
I do too. Thank you.
Mr. J says, Hassan's dog and I in Biden's garage looking through classified docs and watching church on Hunter's laptop. Amazing.
Amazing.
That's right.
Amazing.
Freddie O gave a super chat saying, amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Birdie Bound Brian, not Brown. It's like the world is playing Simon Says, but his name is really Satan. Satan says,
That's right. That's a
go to
good
the
point.
store.
Yeah.
Go to the store.
Amazing. Thank you. What the?
Free Like a Bird gave a super chat. That's that new member. He says, discernment is, thought bubble emoji, thoughts. Is it not? Question mark emoji. Or is discernment awareness of the spirit revealing truth about a person or situation? Question mark. Looking through a magnifying glass emoji. Heart emoji. Bird emoji.
Discernment is no thoughts. There's no thought in discernment. Discernment is a seeing. And that's what's going to happen once you overcome the imagination completely. All thoughts will disappear in that you will not live by them. You will have practical thoughts. Like Hassan made his music, right? And make good music. So he used his thoughts and emotions as a tool because you got to feel what you're making, right? But when he's done with the tool, he put them away. And then he walked by sight. He walked by spirit. He walked by faith. He walked in the spirit. He lived by that, not by practical thoughts, but no thinking at all. So once you overcome the imagination, you overcome thoughts. And thoughts become a tool. Amazing. Thank you. I hope that helped.
Pewter Robel gave some pounds. And Sean, hey, it's spelled S-E-A-N, not S-H-A-U-N. Much love from UK. Amazing fellowship.
Amazing. Thank you. I hope it was helpful.
Mr. J says, what movie is JLP discussing? This was from church yesterday, about a half an hour in.
Oh, the documentary one or the one about the black rapper?
It would have been the documentary one.
I don't know. I just have to, sometimes I flip through the TV and the TV is so boring. And then I'm fortunate enough to run up on serious stuff. And so I ran up on this documentary about really about how we've been brainwashed over the years. But it was about democracy versus, what's the other one?
Republic.
Republic. And how there was a time when the people were controlling things and things were booming, America was great. But these different layers of things start happening. And now it's a democracy and not a republic, kind of a thing. But I didn't write it down. I'll start doing that, especially if I'm gonna mention it. And then I saw this one about DMX on, you know that show I like when they show these different movie stars and entertainers, how they rise.
On Reels?
Yes.
Reels is the channel, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of the show is.
Right. But I'll write it down. So from now on, when I mention stuff, I can say, here's where I got it from. Thank you.
John Frederick. Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, John Frederick has been a member, a Bond channel supporter on Bond YouTube channel for 4 months, and he writes, is America not the greatest country this side of heaven? If America is not the greatest country on this side of heaven anymore, which is?
There's none. I don't know what people mean anymore when they say America is the greatest country. Do you know, Hassan?
I mean, I don't.
Do you believe America is the greatest country?
I mean, I like when you say greatest country on this side of heaven. And I agree just because I live here.
You live here?
Yeah.
You live in America?
Living in America.
Do you believe America is the greatest country on this side of heaven?
I don't know.
I mean, I honestly want to know what that means now.
In a sense, I suppose it still is.
In what way?
In the way that, like, thanks to us and Britain, I mean the UK, a whole lot of people around the world speak English.
That's it?
And we're influential. Like, stuff revolves around the dollar still.
The dollar ain't worth nothing no more.
I know, but the people don't know that yet. Shh. I think they know it. They just hasn't. It hasn't.
You can't even buy a bag of potato chip for $1.
I think if we defaulted on the debt, which maybe we should, then then everybody would know.
If the fraud didn't have a glass.
Whoa, you can't say that.
Oh. He wouldn't have broke it when he jumped.
Anyway.
And so what's great about it? You haven't told me yet.
Yeah, I have. It's great. It's kind of great in the sense that it's influential and sort of big.
What?
Influential and big.
Influential in what way?
I just told you the dollar.
The dollar won't buy your bag and chip.
That's irrelevant. It
Okay.
still influences the whole world economy or whatever.
In what way?
I don't know. It's what I heard. Why don't you get an expert on the show? Oh, we are experts.
You are? That's right. I'm asking the greatest experts on this side of heaven.
And I'm giving you the greatest answers on this side of heaven.
American experts.
Hey, Sean.
I wasn't homeschooled enough to know the answers to these things.
Let me come here for a minute if you can. I'm going to ask Sean. He's white.
Yeah.
And maybe, see, y'all haven't told me yet.
Want me to read a super chat?
Yeah, why Sean is coming.
A super sticker from Sion. Hippo character stands idle whilst his new and most powerful body attachments do their thing. With the word OP, which I don't know what that means, but it's in the sticker, so it must be okay, in the background.
Oh, it must be okay.
Coldberger Art.
Hold that. Thank you, Sion. Is America the greatest country on this side of
Yes.
heaven? In what way?
America has created the most wealth for the most varied, wide-ranging group of people in the history of the world.
But how is it still the greatest country?
Because you're able to come here and accomplish that. The American dream. It's still alive.
But the dollar ain't worth a dime.
I mean, it comes and goes. It's ups and downs to the dollar. But like I said, America has created the most amount of wealth and abundance for the greatest varied group of people.
Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. I just want to finish up this with Hassan. I mean, not Hassan, but Sean, my producer. And Sean, since Hake and Hassan couldn't tell me how is America still the greatest country, I wanted to ask Sean, so first of all, is America the greatest country?
Yes.
In what way?
We are the most generous, the most free.
Generous in what way?
A lot of people will listen to this and be cynical and say, oh, he's so naive. We're not free. We're not generous. But generous in taking in people we take in 1 million, legal immigrants a year.
But how is that generous when they're taking them in for personal gain?
I mean,
they can rule over people. They don't care about those people. How is that generous?
That has ended up being the case, but the original idea of it is that we're taking them in
that's what I'm talking about now.
For a better life.
That's what I'm asking. Is America still the greatest country?
Yeah.
But generous is not one, because they'll only let the illegals in and the ones that overstay their visa because they want votes. They want the power. So that's not nice.
Come this way.
Another way? Who are you talking to?
Way.
Me?
I'm talking to him because look at him. He's way over.
Oh.
Nice.
So can you see that's not generosity at all?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay. What
I don't know. I'm lost.
But that's still a
You
big
lost?
effect. That's still a great effect.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
In what way?
I didn't say great as in a good effect. I
But
said
then
a
that
great.
doesn't make America great then.
It's a great impact.
But it's for the negative.
So it's greatly negative. Still greatest.
But that doesn't make America the greatest.
Uh-huh.
What?
What about rock and roll?
Who was that?
Which one's better? You have to have one better.
Right.
And I'm asking you.
Oh. What is better?
Country.
There are none now. All the white
So
countries are
nobody's
gone.
the greatest. Everybody's the greatest.
The white countries were the greatest. Now they're all gone. I mean, prove me wrong. You said damn? Did you say damn?
I did.
Ooh.
I hope your daddy and mama didn't hear you.
Sorry, Dad.
His dad might be Irish, so they don't care.
Oh, they don't care?
They taught him to cuss as a kid.
Oh.
Foul-mouthed New York Irish.
So
Shout out to the Irish.
shout out to the Irish. So I mean, if I'm wrong, I want to see where I'm wrong, because I'm trying to see where America is still the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, you can think,
China rule America now.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't say China's greater than America.
Why not?
Because they're a communist country.
And we're not?
No, not yet.
So when they can force thousands of people into our country, we can't stop it. That's not communism.
No.
When they encourage thousands of people to get on drugs and live on the streets, that's not communism.
Nope.
That means because we're not communist enough.
When they tell the homeless people that y'all can go onto the private lands of the folks and do what you want, and you're protected and not them, that's not communism.
Yeah, I'm slowly realizing I really don't have any idea what I'm talking about. So I don't know what you want to say.
When they can defund the police and get criminal charge over you,
yeah,
and if you dare to defend yourself, they're gonna put you in jail. That's not communism.
I don't know. I've run out of answers.
But I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. I just don't see it. Because I remember the good old days, and these are not the good old days. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Yes. You about to say something?
Nothing.
Innovation still.
Who?
Boom.
Innovation.
Innovation to do what?
Ever heard of AI?
Apple.
That's the problem.
AI is getting rich.
Yeah.
Apple and Elon.
Ain't nobody getting rich but AI.
That's okay.
That's not communism.
But it still makes America the greatest impact in the world.
In what way?
Because China.
Great and terrible.
It ain't doing nothing for the citizen.
But like how China.
It helps them do the homework a little faster.
But like how China
And
just
help them write the Bible a little faster.
Yeah, rewrite it.
and China is still copying America.
Oh, yeah?
Like Apple, they focus on just
Making money.
knocking off,
Keeping people blind so they can make money.
yeah, and copying it.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. Anyway, last word. I need to get back to the super chat.
Sit up straight so you're taller on the screen. There you go. I like for us to be looking right, not all hokey and all
That's right, Mama.
discombobulated. No, it's called professional.
That's right, professional, Mama.
yeah, bring America back
Yeah.
to innovation.
You mock me, but my standards
That's
are
white.
the old school American standards.
They're white standards. Nobody wants white standards.
Or it's an echo of it.
Last word.
I got nothing. Sorry.
Last word.
It's awesome. You know when something is awesome,
Uh-huh.
like the implosion of that submarine, although it was terrible, and I disavow it, but it was awesome because Mother Nature was awesome.
Okay, James.
Happened in a millisecond.
Right. Thank you, James.
That.
So that's
That's
how
awesome. That's the best you can come up with.
That's what America is.
That's right.
It's the big Satan, and Israel's the little Satan. The
Last
Muslims
word.
are right.
We gotta disavow that.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, on the bright side, all the illegal aliens still want to come over here because it's the greatest country. So,
No, they come because of free stuff.
all right. Well, I'm trying to end on a positive note.
But it's greatly
The
free.
last thing the illegal aliens are coming for is work and all that. They come for free stuff. And that's what they get. They're living better than we are now. They live in 4-star, 5-star hotels and get everything free.
It's true. With projectors on the street.
That's right.
Made in America.
Anyway, when y'all can think of something, let me know.
Well, the experts were made in America.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you, guys. My experts.
Oops. I made somebody cringe.
Okay.
Super chats. Continuing the super chats.
Super chat. And then back to the phones, folks.
Super chats.
Kohlberger Art is been a Bond Channel supporter for 12 months. He says, I use AI. AI don't use me. Smiling with a teardrop coming out. Or maybe it's sweat or drool.
Amazing.
Emoji.
Thank you.
J-Rock with a super chat. No message. Thank you, man.
Thank you, J-Rock.
Sunny Waffles on Bond YouTube channel. Been a Bond Channel supporter for 12 months. Says, I feel ashamed. Oh, this is an answer to last week's biblical question.
Why are you ashamed of your anger and hatred in you? Of the anger and hatred that's in you.
I feel ashamed of the anger and hatred in me because God said anger and hatred cannot come into his kingdom. And that's why I can't have nice things, he says.
Amazing.
Or he or she says.
Well, check us out. We dealt with it yesterday at the fellowship. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thank you.
Anonymous with a Canadian super chat on Bond YouTube channel. Shout out to the moats. Moats. That's the water surrounding the castle.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not sure what that was referring to, but thank you.
Yeah.
Steve Strack. I used to say Strock, but it's Steve Strack, who calls American Anchor Baby sometimes. Said, amazing fellowship today. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I hope it was helpful. It was deep. It was amazing. Thank you.
Santino Robles gave his first super chat on Bond YouTube channel. Thanks for helping me see how much of a beta I was.
It's nice to see you, huh? Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward step thinking. Time to think ahead. The world ain't getting no better. You got to change it. You and me.
Lin Yen Chin gave a super chat. New biblical question. Which is worse? Blank pumping or Bible thumping? I think that was inspired from your biblical question that was asked and answered yesterday.
Ask. Thank you.
Remember that one? You said, which is worse, teaching transgender in school or mothers turning children away from fathers?
Did you hear that question yesterday? I saw it. Which is worse, teaching children transgender or turning children away from their fathers?
Wow. That's deep.
Amazing, huh? Nice. Okay.
Stefan J. Davis with a super chat, no message. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Mav Angel gave a diamond at the end of the church service on D Live. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
And a super chat on Streamlabs from Dinkelberg on JaceLeePeterson.live. Hey, Jesse, watching here on Cozy, cozy.tv/JLP. God bless you and Hake. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Amazing. Cozy, COZY.TV/JLP. Christ is King. That's who said it, right?
Yep.
Christ is King.
The Groypers on Cozy.
Christ is King. Amazing. Stop there.
Okay.
All right, get you some calls. Thank you. We'll finish up those in a minute here. I do appreciate it. Let me go quickly to David, a first-time call out of New York. David, welcome to the show. You're on the air. David. Oh, man. I'm going to put David on hold. Sound like he's at work. Let me go to Sean, a first-time caller out of Tennessee. Sean, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was wondering, do you believe artistic intent has any merit in the discussion around the meaning of a fictional work?
Sean, speak up.
Yes, I was saying, do you believe artistic intent has any merit in the
Sean,
meaning
hold
of a
on for me,
fictional
buddy,
work?
because it's not coming through loud enough. I'm going to put you on hold this time and let Sean, since you're a first-timer, and let Sean check out your phone, and I'll come back to you. Jason out of Buffalo, New York. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey,
All is well, Jason.
All right, man. I know you're not going to remember when I said you were walking contradiction, but you are a walking contradiction. You try to convict people for their faith, and you don't even live up to the same standard.
Give me
That's part of being a contradiction.
Give me the example what you mean.
Like earlier today, you were telling dude, he said he had perfect peace, but you trying to tell him that he doesn't have perfect peace. And hold on, before you say, what gives you the authority to tell somebody what they is inside, what they going through, how they feel? How do you do that?
Did he admit that he did not have it?
I mean, after you pressed him for a minute, and then you pressed him. You pressing him hard. You pressing him kind of hard, and he probably not as strong as me. Like he's like the character straight. When he talks, he doesn't talk with confidence. He was talking like he was kind of like weak light, and you thrive off of that. That's your. That's what you look for.
Did he admit that he did not have
peace? I don't know. Stop listening. I mean, after you pressed him, he said, "I don't know. I'll stop listening." It was like he a weak person. I got.
But how do you know he?
Like, he about to turn.
Why did you say that after? If you didn't hear, how do you know it's a contradiction?
No. My next point is like the contradiction.
Next point is like you gave that as an example, but you didn't hear the guy admit that he did not have perfect peace.
Can you say you didn't? But did you press him on?
You didn't hear that part, right? Right.
No, I heard you press. No. I heard you pressing him. I heard you pressing him about that.
But you didn't hear him admit that he didn't have it. You didn't hear him admit he did not have perfect peace.
Normally, do the people that you talk to do that normally came to you after you press them a long time after
no,
Jason, the same thing over and over again?
Jason,
wait, what? Go ahead.
Did you hear him
admit?
I didn't hear it.
So did he do it?
Yeah, he admitted.
He did it. Did he?
He said he didn't have it.
He admitted. So he said he did. He said he didn't have perfect peace.
Right.
How many times did you have to ask him that? How long? I mean, how long was like?
Where's the contradiction in that?
Hold up. Where's the contradiction? Here's the contradiction. When I taught you when I called you last day about your Bible verse, and you said that when they said the thing, you said all thoughts are lies, but they tell you to don't think noble things, don't think good things and stuff like that. That is a contradiction. Those are two different things. You can't have both.
How is that a contradiction? You don't know what good things are to think on.
it tells you the good things to think of. You said the noble things, that's in the verses. That's what it says. It says that in the verse. But you said all thoughts are lies. Explicitly in the Bible, it tells you to only think good things. You say all thoughts are lies.
And how is that a contradiction? How is that a contradiction?
How is that a contradiction?
Right.
Because if all thoughts are lies, all thoughts are lies. If you're saying all thoughts are lies, that's your I guess that's your doctrine. That's what you say. All thoughts are lies. But then when you turn in the Bible verse, it says it's telling you to only think good things, only think positive stuff. So if all thoughts are lies,
it doesn't tell you to think positive stuff.
It says bring up the verse. Tell me to bring up the verse and read it over.
It doesn't tell you to think positive.
But it's okay. It's like you try to make things exact. It doesn't say silent prayer in the Bible, but yet somehow you came to the conclusion that
it says be still and know, and it doesn't tell you to think positively.
No.
So
Okay.
how is that a
positive is good. Positive is good things. Noble is a positive thing.
How is that a positive thing?
How is you don't know what noble is. You don't know the word.
I'm asking you, how is that how does thinking of a noble thing, how is that a positive thing?
How is that a positive?
It doesn't tell you to think. It doesn't tell you to think. Slow down, man. It doesn't tell you to think positively.
It tells you to think noble, though, right? Noble things.
Right.
Positive and noble are synonyms.
Who?
Positive and noble are synonyms.
What are synonyms? What are synonyms?
Synonyms are words that mean the same thing.
And so
have the same kind of meaning.
And so what does positive mean?
Positive means good. I mean, in the sense that positive means good. And all the things that they said in that
positive does not mean good at all.
Yes, it does.
There's nothing good in positive thinking.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing noble. What's noble about positive thinking?
What is noble about positive thinking? All right, check this out. I can't say a positive thinking, but I can say a positive action, and the person will have to react to do it.
Tell me something noble about positive thinking.
Stepping in front of a bullet for somebody.
That's not noble.
That's noble.
That's
and
dumb.
Positive. That's a good thing.
That's dumb.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that's dumb. To you, that's dumb. To other people, that's.
Thank you, Jason. I gotta go. I appreciate it. I don't want to argue. He's gonna call back. You say, Sean? Oh, it's one more. Okay. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Nick out of Texas. Nick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Jesse, I had a few questions, but I was wondering if it's okay that I ask about the biblical question first.
Yeah. Speak up a little bit, all right?
Okay.
What are you committed to?
I'm committed firstly to Jesus Christ, and after that, I'd say the first thing after would be my child, then my wife, and then from there, work and family.
Interesting. How are you committed to Jesus Christ?
Well, I've had a very interesting, my life's been very interesting, and I've seen my faults and me, I don't know how deep I should get into this, but, I didn't grow up with religion, and I basically had to learn the hard way through my mistakes, and I got myself into a hole that, without stopping and, praising Jesus and, just, I don't want to say begging or pleading, but, being at the mercy of not having anyone else, just praying and hoping he would take care of me. And so far, it's turned out, I'd say at least okay. I'm alive and, I have a family and I work. So in that regard, I feel like, I'm being watched after.
And how are you committed? You say you're committed to Jesus Christ?
Sorry, I just got a call. I try my best, Jesse. I started reading the Bible. I don't read it as much as I should. I have a lot of things that I'm busy, but I spend the time to at least think of him and pray to him and, try to live my life following his commandments and, having a good heart, even though...
Are you doing all those things? You have a good heart?
Well, I was going to say none are good. I know in the span of a day, there's always thoughts and there's always feelings, and I try to push them all away. So,
do you have a good heart?
I would say, yeah.
You say that you're not reading the Bible as often as you should. How often should you be reading it?
Well, from what I've seen, it should be daily. I should be immersed in it.
Where you get that from?
The internet.
So you got that from Google. Oh God. So
but I've heard what you said about it. Go ahead.
So Google told you should be reading the Bible daily?
Well, preachers on YouTube.
And why do you believe them?
Well, that's I feel like the truth is I need to live. I just need to accept the reality of our Creator and live in His light rather than read text. But I feel guilty that I'm not as informed in what the Bible says. And
why you feel guilty about that? You're blessed.
Well, I guess that's just a part of the natural state, right? I don't know.
Does your wife obey you?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Hold on. Can you hold for a minute?
Sure.
All right, let me take a break. I got to take a break. 888-7753. 773-888-77, Jesse. One more hour to go, folks. We're going to finish the super chats that we got over the day and the rest, and your phone calls and all that when I come back from this break. Hake is coming in with the Hake news. I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And He will fight it without, because He will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, He will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before Him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
The quote-unquote center-right, meaning pretty far left liberals, my guess, lame liberals, have taken back Greece from the extreme left, maybe? I'm not sure. Utah's mountains are turning pink and red due to the snow and the algae. Interesting. It's not bad. 11 sets of twins graduated from the same high school, and it's not a record in New Jersey. I guess that's not that interesting. But Prince William wants to end homelessness. What a mess. And some other mess, a little shallow news for you guys. This is the end of hour 1 of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. End of hour 2. It's Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. June 26th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour with JLP is coming right up. He will be back to your calls. And there is one line open. Actually, one person getting in there now, I do believe. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Greece. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has won another 4-year term, while his quote-unquote center-right, which means lame liberal, I think, New Democracy Party, scored a resounding victory. Sunday's elections were dominated by financial stability and cost of living issues. Mitsotakis had positioned himself as someone who could boost growth in a difficult global circumstances. His government staged a stunning economic turnaround, with Greece now on the brink of returning to investment grade on the global market. Remember 10, 12 years ago, 11 years ago? They were bankrupt. The whole country was bankrupt, I heard. They lost market access in 2010. I guess it was 13 years ago. The vote came after a devastating migrant boat disaster. Remember the 300 Pakistanis on that overcrowded boat that sank and they died? Authorities, they were Pakistanis trying to get to Greece. Although authorities were criticized for their response to the tragedy, it did not hinder Mitsotakis' lead. I guess the people aren't all bleeding heart liberal dummies that the media wants to pretend that they are. Anyway, Utah's mountains turning pink and red. It's a phenomenon known as watermelon snow. It looks like Himalayan salt, sort of. Happens all over the world. The result of green algae bloom that blooms like reddish, that thrives in cold, snowy environments. Types of algae living on ice and snow can turn the usually white frozen precipitation to all kinds of colors, purple, green, and other stuff. 11 sets of twins just graduated from the same high school, and it's not even a record. It's in New Jersey. 340 students graduating. That's not that many. 22 students, 11 sets of twins, pairs of twins. We actually had 16 sets of twins in the graduating class of 2021, said North Highlands High School principal Joseph Okino. That's what he said. And it looked like a lot of whites. Current sophomore class has 12 sets of twins. Maybe the educated liberal, this is my speculation, Hake's speculation, if you want to hear it, and even if you don't, educated older liberal New England females living outside of NYC, maybe they've been taking those hormones or some type of fertility drug, hence a bunch of twins. That's my guess. But don't they usually have triplets and sextuplets and septuplets and stuff like that? Pentuplets? Prince William believes it's possible to end homelessness. The so-called Prince of Wales, I thought he resigned from his princeship, has launched a plan to achieve that goal. Is he the Antichrist confirmed, or is he a lame liberal simp? Or is there a difference? I don't even know. Rest in peace to this journalist executive, David Bohrman, a former CNN exec who pioneered the use of election night fixture known as Magic Wall. He died on Sunday, according to his family, at the tender age of 69. Rest in peace, man. $7.7 million, I think, was what a long-lost painting that was lost for like centuries, according to people, by Flemish Peter Paul Rubens, or however you say that guy's name, could fetch in an auction. Oh, it hasn't fetched that amount yet. The painting Saint Sebastian, tended to by two angels, was misidentified for centuries, recently reemerged with the help of X-ray analysis. And you don't want to hear a Taylor Swift vote? I don't think you do. Catch American Anchor Baby after Hake today. American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time. Hake at 9 until 11 Pacific time. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Justin Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. my brand new biblical question for this week. I want to encourage you to podcast the show. They're all amazing. Thank to you all. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. My brand new biblical question. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Think about that. About you. Know thyself. What are you committed to? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And also, you can listen to the show anywhere in the whole wide world. Anytime, because the times are different, we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can listen to the show no matter what you're doing, who you are, and where you are. But on your iPhone or iPad, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on Twitter and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. All right? Ring the bell. Subscribe. Y'all know what to do. What's up? And again, we have every way you can watch the show and support it listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. I want to go quickly back to Nick out of Texas there. We ran out of time. Let's see here. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Jesse.
Okay, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we left off about my wife obeying me, right?
Yeah, she doesn't obey. Does she obey you?
Well, I'm a little, truthfully, I feel like no, but sometimes she does. I'm a little concerned about her and kind of where her headspace is, honestly, because, like right now it's 10 o'clock, and she's sleeping. I just put my kid into preschool or daycare, more or less, and if she wasn't there, I'd be with the child. I feel like I do a lot of things that I should be doing, but then I also do a lot of things that she should be doing. And I feel like, I don't feel like she tends to complain about just doing like housework and me not helping her with housework. And, I could keep rambling on, but I just don't know. Is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Is it just her? And I'll also say I called you, I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, and you told me to leave her. But I have a child with her, so I'm not planning on doing that.
Did you have a child 2 years ago when I told you to leave her?
Yeah, afterwards I did.
How did you have the child already 2 years ago when I told you to leave her?
No, it was after the fact.
So you made a baby after that? What the?
Well, I'll be honest with you, sir. I was a little skeptical about, I listened to you, but I trust no one.
And now what do you think?
Well, I love my family. It's just, what I said. I'm just concerned about her,
let me ask
about her.
It's 10 o'clock in Texas. Your wife is still in bed. You put the child in daycare center, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense to me. What's the purpose of having a wife if she got to be in bed at 10 o'clock and you put the baby in daycare center? Why did you make a baby with her? What's the purpose of having a wife if she's not going to watch over your children?
Well, I wanted to have a family, and I don't know if this, all of this stems from the way I grew up and my circumstances with my parents. I just don't know. At this point, though, I can speculate about the past, but I can't leave her.
Why not?
We have a baby together.
Why can't you leave her?
My child. I don't want my child to go through what I went through, to say it bluntly.
So does she have a job, your wife?
No.
So your wife doesn't work. You work. Do you work?
Yeah, I'm sitting behind a desk right now.
And so your wife doesn't work. She land up in bed, according to you, at 10 o'clock in the morning. You took the child to daycare center, and she complained that you don't help around the house. What's the purpose of being married to that?
Oh, I mean, I don't know what to do.
But why do you want the advice if you're not going to take it? Because apparently, and I don't remember it at all, but you said 2 years ago, before you had the baby, made the baby with her, that I told you to leave, but you didn't leave, and now you're stuck. Why are you asking for advice knowing you're not going to take it?
Well, maybe it's just, I don't know. I'm just scared of what's going to happen. I was scared before about leaving her. I'm scared now about where are we going to end up. So it's just my fear it's just fear.
And what were you afraid of before you made the baby with her?
I was afraid of leaving and, having to be by myself and figure out my own things and not have any family around me. Yeah, it's really about being alone.
Amazing. And what are you afraid of now?
What I'm afraid of now is me having to be stressed out more than I should be. And, yeah, that's about it, really. I don't have many complaints. I'm very blessed in, I have monetary wealth. I have health. So it's more or less just being stressed and not having her. She supports us. It's just these things.
How she supports you? She laid up in bed and making you be the mama.
Yeah.
How that supporting you? You're not blessed. Why do you think you're blessed?
Well, like I said, I have, at this point in my life, I'm healthy. I have money. I have my family.
What family?
My daughter, my wife.
That's not a family. She's not your family. Your wife won't even obey you.
Well, what do I do? What do I do now?
And how can you be blessed and you have fear?
That's a good point.
No, that was a question.
Well, how can I be blessed when I have fear? Well, I think I would say maybe, honestly, I don't know. I guess I'm not.
So why you call those things? Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess me being fearful at all means that I don't have peace, and I'm going to probably be this way. I don't know.
You're never gonna have peace as long as you're looking for comfort from the world. The world cannot give you peace. It's only going to give you hell, just like you're catching right now. And I guess 2 years ago, you were afraid of leaving her because you were afraid of being alone, and yet you're still alone. And even in a worse condition now because you have a child. And you're trying to get something from the world through a family that you're not going to get either. You will never, ever, 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 but never get peace by having a family. A family cannot, will not, is not, ain't not going to bring you peace. Peace only comes from God, and peace only comes from within. Nobody or nothing can give you that.
Well, I know you said that I don't take advice, but what should I do?
Overcome your wife right now by forgiving her for being lazy and trifling and not obeying you. And it's not her fault that you trying to get something from her that she does not and will not ever have to give, right? It's not her fault. So if we let that go, do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts so you can overcome the world. Then you'll have peace. When you overcome your wife, you overcome the world.
Okay.
And then you got to start speaking up. When you see the right time to do it in the right way, you got to speak up, because once you overcome her, you can take it or leave it. You don't need her. You will see what to do.
Yeah, I stand up for myself, and I'll tell her, I'll put her in her place when she's trifling.
But she's trifling. It's just 10 o'clock. She's at home in the bed, according to you.
Yep.
Instead of having the baby at home watching over your child, you had to take the baby to the daycare center. How's that standing up?
Well, I feel like my child's traumatized. She does not like going there, and she cries pretty much all day there.
At the daycare center?
Yep.
And yet you take her?
Yep, because my wife won't watch her.
Because your wife won't obey you. Your wife don't love you or the child.
Yep, that's what it seems like.
And see, you're trying to find peace through having a wife and then a child, and all you're catching is more hell.
So I can't. If I leave, I can't leave.
Why not?
Well, I can't abandon my daughter.
Why can't you take her with you?
That would never happen, especially in Texas.
How do you know?
Because the woman always gets dibs on the kids.
So you see how you're digging a deeper hell for yourself, trying to get something from the world?
I do. I do.
So have you forgiven your mother?
Yeah, I've called my mother. I've forgiven her. I've called my father. I've forgiven him.
Are you doing this? Are you doing the silent prayer morning and night? Every morning, every night?
No, I don't do the silent prayer, but I pray to myself, and I'll take the time to collect myself, and
Why don't you be still and know God? Because the way you're doing it is not working.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it the way that God said do it? Be still and know Him.
And what would that, I guess, beyond the literal statement of being still and knowing God, what does that entail besides just taking the time to just consider God and, acknowledge Him? What else is there to do?
And I'll tell you in a minute, but what does that mean to consider Him and acknowledge Him? How do you do something like that?
You take the time to pray to Jesus and thank Him for everything that He's given you, and so, pray to Him that He brings good fruit in your life and watches over you.
Where you get all that from? Where you get that from? And that's what you should be doing. And it's not working. Where are you getting that from?
That's the conclusion I've reached.
So you got to come out of your imagination. You're listening to the devil.
Okay, so what should I do then?
Do the silent prayer. www.silentprayer.
Yeah, I know your silent prayer.
Do that morning and night, so you can come. God can bring you out of the darkness of your imagination, and you will see what to do, and you'll be able to do it.
Okay.
You got to come out of your thoughts. So for now, concerning this woman you're with, you need to have her keep the baby at home. If the baby is traumatized already from the daycare center, just tell her she need to watch over the baby. That's what she's there for. But don't argue with her. Don't. If she's like, you need to be helping around the house. The only thing you need to do is fix things when they are broken around the house. You need to cook, clean, iron, watch over your baby, keep the house going in that way. And don't argue with her about it. Just say, no, you do that. I'll take care of the rest of the stuff. But you got to do the prayer so you can overcome this woman.
And so what should I do? I 100% agree I should never argue with her because it doesn't work. She gets pretty hostile when I say no to her. And I keep, I'm firm, but she does not let up.
What does she do?
She will start yelling and flailing and, just having a tantrum pretty much.
Does she fight? Has she ever hit you?
A long time ago, but now it's more or less she will pull a tantrum, and at a certain point, I'll just give in.
You just, what a beta. Beta!
Yeah.
You just give in. Listen, don't argue with her anymore. You're giving her your life when you argue with her. That's why she's doing it. She's sucking life out of you. She's weakening you. And she's getting a false sense of life. Cut out arguing with her, period. Never argue with the devil. Inside your wife.
So just ignore her?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Ignore it. And she's going to get really, really mad because the devil needs you to argue back with it so it can get a false sense of life. Do not. You state your point and be done with it. Do not argue. And if she touch you, call the police, have her arrested, make a record of it. So when you do have to leave there with your child, you know that she was abusive, and she'll be in jail and you'll be fine.
Okay.
But don't you touch her and don't argue with her. Period.
No, I can't. That's a no.
But for right now, do the silent prayer so you can see what to do. You need to come out of your imagination.
You're right about that. Okay, Jesse.
Do the silent prayer so you can come out of your imagination. And if you still feel like you need to do your little hooping and hollering, wasting your time, you can do that and then be still and know God by doing the silent prayer, all right? And stay with it, man. And then secondly, thirdly, or whatever, Lee, do not argue with her ever. Don't try to prove anything. Let her argue by herself. Let her scream and yell because that's just the devil in her doing that, and he's trying to draw you in through her. He's trying to draw you in so he can destroy your soul.
How sad, huh?
What?
I said, how sad is that?
And in what way is it sad?
It's just, I don't know. I feel like, honestly, you're 100% right. I feel like I'm too kind, or at least I have, I overextend myself for her and everybody else, and that's only made life more difficult for me.
Well, that's because you're weak and you're trying to get something from the world, and instead of getting, you're getting got. You got to overcome being a beta male. Beta! You got to overcome being weak.
Yeah, beta.
And the only way you're going to do that, you'll have to surrender to God so he can change your nature from a woman's nature back to his nature, which is a natural nature, instead of the abnormal nature.
And that's where I don't know, Jesse. I feel I'm surrendering myself and I'm letting go, but it's like I'm still being captive in this weird. It's just so I don't know why it just won't.
Speak up for me.
I don't know why my life won't flip over.
Come close to your phone and speak up.
Sorry, I am submitting myself. I'm putting all my faith into God, and that's where I'm leading myself. But nothing is changing. I don't
because you're not putting any faith into God. Your faith is still in the world. It's in that woman now. It's in your child, and then it's in your work. It's not in God at all.
So I need to abandon all my, I guess I would call lust for the world, my job, my art, my family, and just focus on Jesus?
No, you need to abandon your imagination because all thoughts are all lies all the time. And and stay close to your phone because you keep getting muffled.
Sorry.
You need to do the silent prayer so he can bring you out of the darkness of thoughts. And you will see the right way to go. I promise you that.
Okay, I'm gonna go turn it on right now.
And just quietly do it, and do it every morning, every night, and don't let the devil talk you out of it, because the devil knows that once you be still and let God truly take over from within, he's gonna have to depart from you, and he doesn't want to give up your soul. The devil lives in human beings, and right now he's controlling you.
Yeah, you may be right.
No, I am right. And you will see then how to deal with this woman in every situation. You'll see what to do.
Well, God bless you, Jesse. Thank you so much for, spending the time talking to me.
All right, I wish you well, buddy.
Yeah, I just hope Get a Job doesn't clip this.
Amazing. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. What a mess. Either you're going to love the world or you're going to love God. You can't love both. And if you're going to love the world, you're going to catch hell. You're in hell. And that's all you will ever get. I don't care how many kids you have or don't have, how many wives you have or don't have, how many jobs. You love the world. This is what you got to get. You're just digging one hole after another. You're in prison, and you're going around, walking around the cell, creating hell for yourself and calling it God. And by the way, see how he happened to put his child in a daycare center, and the baby doesn't want to go according to him, but the mama too lazy, and he can't make the mama watch over the baby. They're coming for your kids, and it's easy to do it now because look at how lazy the mama is. No good, no love, according to him. Breitbart reported Democrats in California are pushing legislation that would reportedly enable therapists to sign off on 12-year-old admission to state-run housing facility without their family being notified, even if there is no threat of abuse or self-harm at home. So the kids can get mad because you didn't let them have a cheeseburger. They could go to school and say, oh, they won't let me have a cheeseburger. And the therapist can say, oh, you were abused. You're 12 years old. You can go live in a government facility and do what you want. Because look at this, Nick and his wife is a perfect example of that. He handed his daughter, sound like her daughter he had, over to the authority right now by taking her to the daycare center because he can't make his wife do anything. Why marry a woman that will not obey you? Guys, on your first date, having your first drink, or whatever you do, your first question, will you obey me if we should get married? And if they say no, or even stumble on that word, question, get up and leave. Just get up and say, okay, bye. Walk away. She would never make for a good wife or mother. And that's your first clue. Even if she said, well, what do you mean by obey? Obey sound kind of hard. I know, whatever they say, right? Get up and walk away. Just leave the table. The conversation is over. Will you obey me if we get married? If the answer is not immediately yes, then you get up and walk away. And God will add a wife unto you if need be and if should be. And it'll be the right one. The court system is rigged against fathers. Here's a father describing what the modern court system is like. Watch this from Pearl Daily. Watch this.
There's so many people involved in this that it's getting a bit confusing.
The local authority applied to take him into care. They had coerced him, in my opinion, to say that he was scared of both his parents, mother and father. Several witness accounts saying how happy he was in my care.
So they took him into foster care.
That's right.
So now he's not with you or your ex-wife.
He's not with either of us, no.
But in family court, you don't actually need evidence, is the issue.
No evidence was presented. But this takes months. You know, the wheels turn very slowly. So where are we up to? 2020. And I'm allowed to see my son once every now and then. But there are more and more restrictions imposed by local authority. Oh, you're not allowed to say you love him, right? You're not allowed to ask him where he's been. You're not allowed to say where you've been. You're not allowed to tell him what you've been doing. You're not allowed to touch him. You're not allowed to
Your own son.
Yes.
And is the psychologist employed by the government?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was funded by the local authority. What actually happened was the psychologist took everything my ex-wife said as gospel truth. So he didn't question any of her allegations. Of course.
So if you have a feminist worldview, you already hate men. And a lot of people from these government institutions have a feminist lens on the world.
Absolutely. And he used all the latest buzzwords. So I have narcissistic tendencies. And you will find the word narcissism used time and again to describe men that they can't really find anything else wrong with, okay? Because they've got no evidence that they found I've done nothing wrong. They've got there's no instance of abuse even. He can't possibly be a good father because he cares too much about his son, you know. He sees his son as an extension of himself, which I do. Okay? He expects a lot from his son. He's pushy. Yes, I'm pushy. You can't fight back. Because whenever you say, actually, I'm not a narcissist, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you're a narcissist.
What a mess! Which is worse? To turn the children, let the schools turn the children to transgender, or the mother that turned the children away from the father? Which is worse? The mother that's turning the children from the fathers. When you take them away like that, you turn them into transgenders. The schools are not doing it, you're doing it. The mothers are doing it, and the courts are supporting it by turning the children away from the fathers. Already they're taking on the mother's identity. You're destroying the souls. Women who do this to the men's children hate God. They're evil women. Pure evil. They don't love the children. They don't love the father. They don't even love themselves. They love evil. And they roam the earth to see who they can destroy. And again, men, your first question on your very first date. Will you follow me? Will you obey me if we get married? If she stumble with that word, you just get up and leave. Okay, I see you. Bye. Be done, because that's the devil, and she would never, ever, ever, ever make for a good wife or a mother. Just say bye. Don't argue with her or anything. You got your answer. And now if you should marry her and she said no, what you mean, blah, 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 you deserve what you get. It's your fault. You married the devil. I'll be back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. a mess. What a mess. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake Report.com. From 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, the Hake Report. And after the Hake Report at 12 noon Pacific time, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. Podcast American Anchor Baby. You want to see what happened on Friday. It was interesting. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. And for personalized shout-outs, I do them myself. Weddings, anniversaries, congratulations, whatever. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? And don't forget, you can go to Cash App. Cash.app/Bond JLP and support us that way as well. All right. That Pearl Daily I just played for you, I had Pearl Daily on the Fallen State. It was very interesting, the fallenstate.tv. Amazing. You may want to check it out, Pearl Daily. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Super chat.
Yes, sir. All right. On D Live from Green Wall with a diamond. What is God's grace?
His grace is sufficient for me.
By the way, did you say treasure chest? I zoned out.
Oh, the treasure chest is now open on D Live.
Nice.
Thank you.
Another super chat from Streamlabs on JesseLeePeterson.live from Soul Conscious. Jesse, incredible church service. I am always amazed by how clear you speak. Thank you.
You can take the boy out the country, but you can't take the country out the boy. Thank you.
But it should be an adverb. It's how clearly you speak.
Thank you, Mr. Teacher.
You're welcome. Sion, read it, Hake. Read it, Hank. She wants me to say something that I don't want to say. Because you can pick your own username on Streamlabs. I shouldn't say that. Compared to third world countries, America is still better. But now it's not as it used to be. They are destroying it. They're even changing the Constitution. Everybody's after power and not care about people like Donald Trump does. We are heading to depression.
But we were not comparing it to other countries.
Well, you asked if it's the greatest.
Right.
That's a comparison to other countries.
No, yes or no, it's the greatest or not.
Yes or no.
If you say
greatest,
yes, then what's making it the greatest?
Greatest means better than all the rest.
But it's not.
Okay. It's not better than all the rest?
Nope.
All right.
It used to be, but no more. I want my country back, but reality is not.
Okie dokie, hokey pokey.
Okay, thank you, CR.
Luther Vaughn on JesseLeePeterson.live. Good morning, JLP fam. There's a new order in the world. God over man, man over woman, woman over child, child over dog, dog over Hassan.
That's for sure.
Nice.
I rest my case.
He's doing this new thing now when I walk him. When he knows the route now. So when we walk back, he goes like this, and he won't move.
Wow.
He plants his legs and feet on the cement, he doesn't move.
When I was a kid, I liked to be outside. I didn't want to go home.
And you can't make him move?
No.
Oh, beta.
I know.
Talk about being ruled by the dogs.
Maybe that's a sign you should leave him outside.
I'm telling you, make sure you don't get married.
But at least he's an alpha dog.
If your dog can rule over you, I don't know what your wife gonna do to you. Man, she gonna ring you around her finger.
It's funny.
We're in bad shape.
That's for sure. Thank you.
Mike Young on Streamlabs, JesseLeePeterson.live. Hey, Jesse, that was a question. Should be your next design of a T-shirt or a shirt.
I thought about that. No, that was the question.
On Streamlabs.
How come people don't answer the question? They say, yeah. I'll make a statement and they say, yeah, that's true.
I know, huh?
Because you're right.
But it's a question.
No, I just did what you asked. I just did what you described.
What?
I know, huh?
Oh, yeah. I missed it. I thought you were agreeing that they do that.
Yep.
You have the questions and the answers.
What?
You have the questions and the answers.
The question is in the answer?
Well,
the answer is in the question. But I want you to be able to see it for yourself. That's why I asked the question rather than just giving the answer. And so if you answer the question, it'll make you think for yourself so you'll know that you know. But if you just say, oh, that's true, you don't know if you know or not, even though you are seeing the answer from the truth. I mean, you are seeing the answer from the question. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, it's hard to admit to ourselves, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing and ridiculous to examine the reason for the flawed thinking. The reason behind the flawed thinking.
And flawed actions, yeah.
Yep.
The guy, Nick from Texas, that's amazing. He said 2 years ago I told him not to marry her, to leave her. They had no kids at the time. He didn't take that by stayed with her, got a baby, and suffered even more. So.
Yeah, terrible.
Wow.
Amazing.
Indeed. Kid Combo 1 on D Live with a diamond. Kid Combo 1 subbed 41 months. Happy birthday, Misty.
Thank you.
Wiles Witness on Streamlabs. JCLeePeterson.live. If you believe Jesus, you must believe the Bible, or it comes apart. God did not write the word on our hearts. He wrote the law on our hearts. The law teaches us how to love God and others. In doing so, God will love you. Study to show thyself approved.
None of that makes sense. Call me on that on Bible Thumper Thursday.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, guys. I do believe... Oh, well, let me acknowledge. Games for Rec, Kid Combo 1, Green Wall, Powers That Bear, Wrinkle Hands, Bing Bong, and Cradle to Grave, No Fear. Thank you, guys, for the support over there on D Live.
Thank you.
And that is all for now that I see.
Amazing. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Before I go quickly back to the phone, turn off your television. Don't watch so much television, so much phone, and so much mess on the internet. Turn off your television. Watch this compilation as to why you should turn your television off. Watch this.
TV watching is addictive. Attachment to watching can be as strong as addiction to drugs or gambling. That's why the average watching time is 5 hours per day, which means that youth spend 30% more time viewing than they do in school. 2/3 of families watch TV during meals, and over half of 4 to 6-year-olds prefer TV with being with their parents.
Television has a bigger impact on small children. It decreases their concentration span. When watching a TV program, they do not have to use much of their imagination or think critically as compared to reading books.
And what about the mere 16,000 yearly commercials? They certainly have something to do with mindless consumerism, overdrawn bank balances. Add to that the increased risk of depression, dumbing down on the brain, and our susceptibility to blindly accepting as truth the information TV spews out.
Whenever we turn on the television to watch the news, it is evident that a vast majority of it is bad news. Almost to the point that more than 70% of the news is bad news of wars, famine, accidents, scandals, and other crimes. When we watch the advertisements on the television, we see attractive products like electronics, cars, branded clothes, food, jewelry, and so much more. And when we realize we cannot afford these products, we have a feeling of inferiority. We get jealous and angry when we see our friends show-offing the said product. We are so obsessed with it that we may even spend hours watching programs that we may not even like. Do we see this happening anywhere else? Of course, nobody spends hours watching a baseball game if they do not like baseball. But we will watch bad TV for hours on end. TV programs intentionally end their episodes as well as series with cliffhangers to keep you hooked.
According to a 2016 survey, over 90% of millennials and 88% of those in the Gen Z category have engaged in binge watching a TV series. And these streaming platforms know all of this. That's why the CEO of Netflix, Reed Hastings, said in a 2017 statement that their biggest competitor is sleep.
Amazing. That is so true. The iPhone's doing that to you, your iPads are doing it, and the television. Why don't you wake up? Wake up. Wake up, America. We're losing the country. Get out there and pick some cotton or something. Go down and live on a plantation and be free. Damon, 888-775-3773. A first-time caller out of Indiana. Damon, you're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Damon.
Hi. My question I had asked Sean was like, I told him, I said, my wife hates me. And I wanted to ask you what your advice would be about that.
How long you been married?
We've been married over 13 years now. We've been together over 18 years.
You have children with her?
Yes, sir.
And are they young children or adults?
Somewhat. The one's 9 and one's 13.
Oh. And your question for me is what?
My wife hates me.
And how you feel? Go ahead.
Just that. What should I do about it?
How do you feel knowing that she hates you?
I don't like it at all.
Why not?
I don't know.
You don't know why you don't like it?
I mean, probably because I love her. So I feel like, you would think that, not because I love her, but, you would hope at least it would be reciprocal.
If you love her, why do you need her to love you?
I don't need her to.
Then why you hate it?
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And how do you know she hates it? She hates you.
Just by the way she responds to certain things, or she'll, in ways she has gone against me and gone against things that we came up to mutual agreements about, and then later she, do this and that. It's like, I don't know. I can get into some examples if you want to, but I mean,
no, that's enough. Like did you know she hated you?
You should see the way she looks at me. You should see the way she looks at me sometimes, man. The way she looks, that saying that if looks could kill, I'm telling you, I'd be a dead sucker right now.
Did you know she hated you before you married her?
No. A lot I didn't know before I married her.
Yeah. So here's what and your question for me is what?
My wife hates me. What should I do?
Overcome your wife.
How do I do that?
By working on you. Have you heard me say go and forgive your mother because you're married to your mother?
Yes.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, sir.
And you forgave your father as well?
I think so. I don't know my father. I mean, I know his name, but really that's about the extent of it.
And how old are you?
47.
Why don't you know him?
Just that connection has never happened. I don't, like when I was 15 or 16, I think my mother had a number that was his mother, and I called, and long story short, I asked if he was there. She said no. I said, well, this is Damon from, can you tell him I called? She said, you got work for him? I said, yeah, tell him call him. But I never heard anything back from any of that, and it just never came about.
All right. Well, I want you to know your father loved you, And when he left your mother. He didn't leave you. In the same way that you're dealing with your wife, because everything you're dealing with your wife is exactly what your father had to deal with your mother.
Yeah.
And so, are you doing the silent prayer morning, every night?
Not every night.
But why not?
Probably I'm lazy or selfish.
Are you black?
Yes, I'm mixed actually, but
your black
but
part
yes.
Your black part is
I learned
lazy.
that. Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. You had a caller the other day who called in and was talking about the mixed people and why they call them black and all that stuff. I learned that lesson a long time ago. It don't matter all this and that. When people look at you, they're gonna say this or that. A long time ago, I learned. They said I'm black, so he black.
He black. So listen, Damien, you don't need your wife to love you. Your wife does not have love. Women don't have love. They only have hate. So you don't need her to love you. She can't love you. She doesn't have it. She never had it. She didn't love you when she met you. She doesn't love you now because she doesn't have it. God loves you. And so what you need to do is to overcome the world. You need to overcome the need of having love from your wife. She doesn't have to give. So do the silent prayer every morning, every night, and then let all thoughts pass. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, right? And then God's love is going to work through you, and you're going to love your wife in the right way. You will love her where you can take it or leave it. You don't need her at all because you have children already anyway. But she doesn't have love to give, so stop looking for it.
Amazing. Yeah. There's a lot of burning and suffering and within that, I think, because you want certain things from your wife and stuff, and it's
like what other than have her watch over your children and cook and clean and keep the house going. What do you need from her? You don't need anything else from her.
Well, I want all those things too.
And she won't do those things?
No, not completely. No.
What a beta.
Thank you.
But
I know.
Here's what I recommend, that you overcome her, though, and then things will start to work out for you and your children. So do the silent prayer and get up, and when you speak up to her, but don't argue with her at all. Don't argue with her. Don't cater to her. Don't try to satisfy her angry, evil emotions or any of those things. You work on you and let her suffer and die.
Yes, sir.
She doesn't have it, Damon, so stop looking for it. You don't need it. Women don't have love. It comes from God. Your love comes from God. So you need to focus on that now by overcoming the emotional, overcoming your ego, which is of the devil.
Yeah. It's just crazy, man. Like, we be sitting in a room and she's just over there stewing. And we don't even have to be talking, but it's just like I can just feel that over there.
Yeah, it's
evil.
evil.
Like I want it to get away from me in a way. But it's like I don't know that that's the right way to be.
You want to leave her?
I don't want to leave her.
When you say you want to
I want that spirit to get away from me.
Oh, I understand. You're right, because it's evil. But do the silent prayer, and the Spirit of God will dwell in you, and it will defeat the spirit of evil that's in her. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I believe that.
And just know she can't help but hate you. She hates her daddy. She's yearning for a love of a father. She's in hell.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That makes sense?
It does.
And so
I know what you mean.
So be glad to see the hell that's in her, and don't be wishing for that, because that's just the devil's nature. You don't want that in you.
Wow. So you're saying when I identify in her, it's almost like I'm identifying it within myself.
100%.
Amazing.
100%. That's why you got to do the silent prayer, so the light of God will consume you and destroy the darkness. The devil will have to leave you, and you'll be fine. And your wife would just, if she doesn't overcome it, she'll die in her hell, and you won't be bothered by it. You'll be fine. You and your children.
Yeah.
Because she's already destroying your children with it, with the hell in her.
Mm.
And so accept the fact that she hates you. Be glad to see it. And don't argue with it. Do the silent prayer. And the light of God will show you how to deal with it. It'll show you what to do. He will show you what to do.
Yes, sir.
But be glad to see it. And if you do have sex with her, you sound like, are you still having sex with her?
Oh, yeah.
Well, make sure.
Well, not recently because he's real mad the past few days. But I mean, yeah.
Okay, when you do sex thing, make it a quick bam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
I've heard you say that a lot.
Yeah, do not lay there and worship her because you're giving her your life.
Amazing.
Make it a quick bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, and be gone.
I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold me. You don't love me. Just give her the finger and go. And if you're not trying to make babies, there's no reason to be having sex anyway. But let's say you gotta do it. Do a quick bam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So do the silent prayer. You see now that she hates you, and it's not her, but it's the spirit of the devil in her. And she doesn't have love to give. Sex ain't love. None of that stuff is love. Do the silent prayer so you can come out of the imagination and let the light of God guide you. You'll be fine, man. You'll overcome her. And if she may get so mad, she may leave. But if she does, that's on her. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she may get better in about 50 years.
Right.
And then you'll die.
Yeah. It's just she don't seek though. It's like she don't seek those higher things.
Right. She love her hell.
She's good. Yeah. And
there's nothing you can do about it but let her live in her hell. She loves her hell.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So I got to run, Dane, but do the silent prayer so you can overcome the world. You can overcome her. And all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
Yes, sir. I know it.
All right. Let me know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, buddy. What a mess. I am so out of time. Become your own man. Become your own woman. Get on that straight and narrow and stay there. I don't care what happened what situation comes. The world, human beings are evil until they overcome the nature of the devil. They are pure evil. Your daddy, your mama, your husband, your wife, your friends, your children, all evil. Your workers, your co-workers, until they overcome it. You're dealing with evil, but you need the light. You need good to deal with evil. You can't handle it on your own. Michael out of Los Angeles, Sean, a first-time call out of Tennessee, and the people who just hung up. I'll be back tomorrow, Country and Western Tuesday. All right, y'all. Amazing. Hake is coming up now, the Hake Report, and then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby show. All right, folks. Thank you all. Bye.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause yourself so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.